Hello, hello, my dear friends. Welcome to Divine Debut. This is Kathy speaking. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope that you're all having a wonderful Sunday. Astrologically speaking, it is a little bit heavy. We're still feeling those eclipse energies, that lunar eclipse in Scorpio, that full moon, which happened on the 16th of May. Today is the 22nd of May of 2022. Lots of twos. Twos, speaking of decisions, twos can speak to trying to find balance. It can speak to relationships. It could also, twos always speak to separation as well. So two halves that need to come together as a whole. 22 reminds me very much of that Lenormand card, the path, number 22, which is all about choices and opportunities. For some of us, it could be separation from someone or decisions pertaining to travel. There's hesitation, nevertheless. It's like, are we going to separate ourselves from what is it that we're purging? And I have heard some of you saying that, yes, the energies are a bit heavy, and some of you may have been feeling a little bit tired and needing more sleep, and that's how the astrological weather is still feeling, even though we're having our, emotional ups and downs with that full moon completing in Scorpio, which is an amplified eclipse. It's all about purging and taking off, shedding all that old dead weight, right? Letting go of anything that's karmic and heavy and needing to be resurrected, making the space in our life for those changes that are necessary, that are fated. Okay, the moon has come up to Aquarius now, so it's obviously been squaring over to that south node and to the lunar eclipse. So it's a waning moon, my dear friends. It's all about finishing things up, right? So shedding, letting go. It's not about building now. It's about correcting, letting go, releasing. Okay, so we do have Pluto, which rules Scorpio, where the eclipse was. Pluto is retrograding in Capricorn, heading back towards the 27th degree very soon, which is a very, it's a bit of a volatile degree, because that 27th degree is where Mars is exalted, and Mars, of course, is our desire to move forward. It's gutsy, it's courageous, and Pluto in a Saturn-ruled sign in Capricorn. Capricorn is the mountain goat, right? It's all about climbing that hill, that mountain. It's not a hill, it's a mountain. And so just, even just thinking of Mars, which is the courageous, remember it rules Scorpio as well as Aries. And we are also feeling the Aries energy, Martian energy with Jupiter in Aries now, and very close conjoining with Mars, and Mars being at that, those last couple of degrees of Pisces, which is a little bit desperate. He knows he's ending a cycle. He wants to finish up, right? It's like wanting to move forward, but having sort of blockages or feeling those negative energies, I feel, because with Pluto is a malefic planet, as is Mars, right? And Pluto is transiting a Saturn-ruled sign. So just, throwing in the mix, Pluto, Saturn, which rules Capricorn, and Mars, the exaltation of Mars. And you can see also that Mars is in good aspect, which is the positive. This is good. I mean, we've got a sextile here which says that Pluto is helping us. The spirit is helping us to shed, to let go, to have the courage, to have that drive, to let go, even though there are blockages and there are restrictions. So what is it that we're wanting to build on? We're needing to make the space in our lives, have the courage, and believe in ourselves that we can make the changes that are necessary in our life. We've got the sun that's just ingressed into Gemini. So happy birthday, my dear Gemini people, Gemini friends. It's the time of Mercury rule Gemini. Gemini is all about logic, having those important conversations, talking to people, communicating, and also taking the action, whether it involves short distance travel. I don't know if you're dealing with small groups of people, you're collaborating with a small group of people, you're doing some sort of business, trying to see things. It's very technical and very communicative, Mercury. But Mercury is retrograding, which means we're dealing with other things. But we'll come back to the Mercury retrograde in a moment. I wanted to point out that the sun is trining over to Pluto. This is very powerful. I mean, the sun is the light, right? It's the clarity. It's coming from a place of heart, not only from a place of logic and mind and doing things in a robotic way. I mean, Gemini it's things that we do daily, manually. I should say automatically, not manually. Things are done, you know, our movements, anything that we do without logic, we cannot function. So that's what Gemini is. It's all about decision-making, being curious, checking things out, double-checking, triple-checking with Mercury retrograde. Okay, the sun is trying to bring us the clarity, and we've just had that conjunction of Mercury and the sun, which is the Cazimi point. Cazimi point is when Mercury is in the heart of the sun. So there's some sort of enlightenment, some sort of an idea, something that we will have the ability to see. I mean, it's like giving Mercury that, you know, that strength, that power from the sun. And of course, because Mercury is it's youthful energy, it is energy, it is energetic. There's a quickness to Mercury. And Mercury retrograde means it's closer to the earth, and in its home sign of Gemini means it's very powerful. So there's a lot of back and forth. There's also, you know, that Cazimi point from the sun. It's like having that awareness as Mercury is preparing to regress back into Taurus. He's going to come back to that 26th degree, and we've got Algol, the head of Medusa, which is very much about poison, right? The head of Medusa is those that are in positions of power. Algol is like a warrior-like energy, very forceful, can be quite challenging, very warlike. But it's all about using the mind to shed any dark thoughts, right, to do with our values, money, leadership. I mean, if you think of Medusa, the head of Medusa, her head was full of snakes. And of course, snakes do speak to wisdom, but they also speak to poison and, you know, finding the medicine, finding the way to heal, but in a humbled way. I mean, Medusa did lose her head. So those that are in positions of power, that are using their mind in a poisonous manner, not wanting the good of the collective, are losing their positions of power. They're losing their minds. They're losing their wits. So that's what Mercury's sort of looking at. And remember that Taurus is a Venus-ruled sign, and of course Mercury will station at that 26th degree, very close to the North Node. So fated matters will be playing out. We know with Mercury retrograde there's a lot going on pertaining to the past. We're revisiting old situations. I had a situation happen to me. I think I've mentioned it already. Some of you may have heard the other day. It's just my experiences with Mercury retrograde. Remember, in Gemini, it's very powerful. It rules Gemini. And what happened was, yes, it related to conversation, some sort of a conversation pertaining to the past, the deep past, I'm going to say. And remember, Mercury is also the messenger of the gods, but also he rules short distance travel, your close environment. So people that you collaborate or deal with could be relatives, could be people that feel like even distant family. So yes, it brought up a conversation and a situation which happened to me quite a few years ago, which brought back painful memories of a certain situation connected to a relative who lives in my environment, matters of travel, communication or a lack of communication, and just revisiting an old situation where it was a conversation, words. So, yes, communication, and then the process of thinking, right? Analyzing, which is Mercury, analyzing and looking at the past, how things or how I reacted or how things played out then, and how those memories, those painful memories, have come back in the now from a conversation which brought up those emotions, right, pertaining to decisions as well, because Gemini's decisions, and accepting the way things were and the way things I want to do things now. How do I want to communicate now? How do I want to react now? Remember that, again, Mercury is going back to Taurus, where we had, back in November last year, we had a lunar eclipse in Taurus at that 27th degree, right? And revisiting our goal. And not only that, but we had that lunar eclipse at the 25th degree of Scorpio. So that's right in opposition to that 25th, 26th degree, which again is Scorpio. It's change, and it's letting go of the old karma, letting go of situations that don't work for us anymore, overcoming our fears. And you know, when that happened to me, which brought back all this wound, this open wound, which was like Pandora's box. It's like uncovering what's, the last thing that was left in Pandora's box after all the grievances, all that difficult energy which came out of Pandora's box, right, which was gifted to Psyche from Venus. The last thing that was left in there was hope. I mean, hope is the last thing to die. So it's not a time of losing hope. It's a time of revisiting old situations and redirecting them. It's like, after a knock on wood, a snake bite, what you do is you take the poison away, right? My goodness, I just had a little visitor. I was just talking about snake bites and snakes and reptiles, and I noticed to my right that Agape was up to something, so I turned around and there was something in front of her. It was quite big, so I went up to see what she was chasing, and it was a green lizard, my dear friends, which found its way into my home. Green lizard scared the life out of me, of course. I don't do really well with reptiles, but I had a look at the lizard totem animal to see what it represents. And it speaks to being fearless, okay? It encourages the spirit to be fearless in all our pursuits. And that's, I was just talking about Medusa with a head of snakes, being warrior-like and having the courage, right? The courage to not fear the poison. But it does speak to, the green lizard does speak to taking risks in order to achieve what you want. So because the lizard is a very powerful totem in the Native American and Aboriginal tribes, it does speak to the past, obviously, to a lot of very strong messages coming through, and lizards as a symbolism are connected to the sun and to the light. It does speak to protection as well. And lizards are also connected to dreams and visions. So pay attention. I mean, we've just had this lunar eclipse in Scorpio, right, which is talking about what we need to overcome, what fears we need to overcome to shed anything that has been poisonous or that's ended. You know, it's a time of death and transformation. But with the moon now squaring over to this eclipse, it's about letting go and just releasing, as I said, releasing fear. Okay, Mercury is going to bring us those messages, what is necessary to know. With Mercury, we're revisiting the past situations. Okay, Mercury is curiosity. We do need to be curious, and we do need to make decisions moving forward. Okay, the lizard is also powerful for people who are connected to young children, and Mercury is also young children. So it's connected to school teachers, teaching, I suppose. It's about learning, which is Mercury as well. So take some time out, get out in the sun. Lizards like the sun, right? They like to receive the strength. The strength is, our strength is the sun. It's our ego. It's our identity. Remember, this trine is that there's helpful energies coming from Pluto here, where, as I said, letting go of anything negative, okay, and moving forward and having confidence. That's what the sun is, my dear friends. So, that was a bit of a situation. Now, Jupiter has ingressed into Aries. Venus has just finished her conjunction with Chiron. So we're looking at those open wounds pertaining to cardinal fire. So what is it that we are initiating, needing to have the courage to do? Mars has just passed over that 27th, 28th degree. He's actually sitting on the 28th degree, which was where that conjunction of Jupiter and Venus happened, which is Venus's exaltation point. And just looking at, going back to Pluto, where I was talking about Saturn, Pluto, and Mars being exalted here. Well, they're in good connection. Mars onto Pluto, Pluto in a Saturnian sign in Capricorn. There's divine help here. What are we going to do about it? Are we just going to sit back? Are we going to close up this major karmic cycle? I mean, Mars is at the last couple of degrees of Pisces, which says that we are closing up a cycle where we felt maybe that we needed to end something, anything that kept us in a sense of imprisonment. Was it our imagination, an illusion? Neptune can be all those things. Maybe we've had an illusion, we've been wearing those rose-colored glasses, and we've been living in a dream state. Well, I feel with the moon now that will enter Pisces in the next few hours, we should receive lots of messages. Remember, the eclipse happened in Scorpio, so Pisces is in trine, 120 degrees, very positive, as the moon will be moving through Pisces. Pay attention to your dreams and the messages that you receive. Pisces is unconditional love. It's divine spiritual love and connection. Okay, so very powerful. And Venus has been looking at that open wound. Now she's on her way. She's very courageous in Aries. She's in a Mars-ruled sign. So she's got that oomph, as I always say, that drive to move forward, to start anything that is of love, value, anything that is quality. Okay, Venus is, she's priceless. She's anything that we love. She's anything that gives us a sense of security and feeling good, having all the tools that we need to go on that fool's journey. Aries is the fool's journey. So yes, we are revisiting the past, but it's all about now curiosity and information and, you know, taking action to move forward. Remember that Gemini is like a child. It's very youthful, and it's very much about learning. It's a time of learning, finding out, revisiting old situations. Okay, so Mars in a couple of days will ingress, will pass over the rising. As you can see here, I've got 0 degrees of Aries, depending on which area of the world you're in, but Mars is at the last couple of degrees, so he is finishing up an important cycle, obviously, and we will start to move forward, start to take action. We will see lots of beginnings happening here, as Mars will give us the courage and the drive and the passion and the desire to move forward. Now, Saturn is slowing down, my dear friends. Saturn will be retrograding as soon as Mercury on the 3rd or on the 4th, I suppose, depends on where you are in the world. Round about then is when Mercury will station to turn direct. And remember, at that 26th degree, he will be still on Algol when he's stationed, which means he will be stopped. And then he will start to pass over the degrees that he retrograded over. So those of you that have got any planets or angles, you know, at those last degrees of Taurus or Scorpio or even Aquarius and Leo, it will be important for you with Mercury there. So Mercury, the messenger of the gods, remember he can be the trickster as well. But Mercury stopping, he's obviously received his information, he's gotten that enlightenment, that awareness from the sun. And he will station and start to move direct. After the 4th of June, it will be all systems go. That's when Saturn will start. Saturn has already started to slow down, because Saturn will be retrograding. As soon as Mercury turns direct, Saturn will be retrograding. So he's very slow now, very, very slow. And therefore I feel, because he will be retrograding until October 23rd. So he'll be retrograding up until the, he'll go back all the way up until the 18th degree and then move forward again. So if you've got any planets or angles or important points, anything at those 25th degree up until the 18th degree of the fixed signs, okay, Saturn retrograde will give us a bit of a window of, you know, there's like a lessening of those limitations, I would say, because Saturn, even though he's all about the past and the karma and timing and limitations and restrictions and doing the work, that's what Saturn is. We will be looking for an ingenious way to overcome any blocks, any limitations. And that could be through using our ingenious mind. We all have that 2020 vision of Aquarius. And of course, Aquarius is all about breaking free from any limitations. It is about the ingenious mind having that ability to see things from a higher perspective. So therefore, just like the eagle, right, from the ethers, from Uranus, from the skies, we can look down on this 3D plane we've got the ability to see things from a high perspective. So it's a very spiritual, it's a moment of connecting to spirit and having that ingenious thought, that connection to the divine, and find a way to fly over any restrictions, find a way to overcome the past and move towards the future. Jupiter is moving forward, so he's blessing, obviously, the fire signs, those that are born in the first 10 days, roughly, of the fire signs. He's actually bringing changes in, hopeful changes for the cardinal signs, so Libra, Capricorn and Cancer, those of you that are born in the first 10 days of those signs. He will be challenging you to free yourself from anything that's been restrictive, anything that's been limiting. Jupiter wants to expand and grow. He does well in Aries, so especially Aries will be blessed from the god of all gods, Jupiter, Zeus. He will get to that 8th degree and then stop there on that 8th degree. So the 8th degree is very important of the cardinal signs. And then he will start to retrograde again. So he will not retrograde before July 28th, and then he will move direct. I should say that at the 28th of October, so end of October, he will re-enter Pisces because he's got some unfinished work to do. He will come to this degree, so pay attention because Mars is here. Mars now with Jupiter are also conjoining. Remember, Mars is the warrior. Mars is our drive. It can speak to frustration. Mars cannot move well. Mars is fire. Mars, being the main ruler of Aries, is cardinal fire. Mars does rule Scorpio, though, so he does go deep in Scorpio, but he does better in air and fire signs. So he's a little bit frustrated. He's trying to get to the bottom of things here. He cannot move very fast in Pisces. Right, and of course, because Pisces can speak to illusion, I mean, Mars is trying to get to the bottom of things, right? It's as though he's at the bottom of the sea, and he's going deep. He's like, there's great depths, I should say, with, I feel, Mars in Pisces. It's like he's at the bottom of the sea, but remember that Pisces is also the divine, so there's a huge distance, you know, from being at the bottom of the sea, at the bottom of, you know, where foundations are. That's where we build on. There's like a preparation sort of now, and believing in spirit, believing that we are guided, trusting that spirit is guiding us to those new beginnings. So we're only moments away from Mars entering, let's say, Aries, and will conjoin exactly with Jupiter. If we think of Mars as the warrior, the soldier, Jupiter is like it's very spiritual, of course, but he's very expansive, very optimistic. Jupiter, as I said, does well in Aries. So Jupiter will expand and will bring optimism to any of our projects. What is it that we're wanting to start new? What new cycles are opening up for us, right? What is it that we're needing to initiate now as we're closing up and dealing with past karma and sort of not sweeping the karma under the carpet, but more so dealing with it, having that warrior spirit, that courage, that tolerance, being able to tolerate and not feel restricted. Right, because we're trying to get to the bottom of things, trying to understand what is that illusion, what is it that we weren't able to understand, what is it that we're striving to accomplish, what is it that we're shedding, what is it that we're needing to move towards. Remember that soon Venus will be entering Taurus, so it's all about materialism and practicality and practical matters, our securities, financial securities, emotional securities, any sort of securities. Taurus is also financial, and our economical state, and we know it hasn't been easy at all with the price of life, and everything's just gone sky high pertaining to our financial securities. We've been going through a lot of changes. We see that around us. We see it on a collective scale as well as personal, with the nodes, transiting through Taurus and Scorpio, which are our financial securities. So let's move forward a little bit and just watch how the planets are moving. So we could see here that on the 23rd of May, and I have mentioned, those of you that are on Patreon and you do follow me there and support me there, thank you so much. I have mentioned that till around the 23rd, 24th of May, it's still going to be a little bit difficult. Okay, there we go, 24th of May, and Mars is at the last minutes here. Let's move forward. There we go. So on the 25th of May, we've got Mars in its home sign, conjoining with Jupiter. Jupiter is freedom. Jupiter is truth. Jupiter is also matters of law. Okay, what are our beliefs? Are our beliefs holding us back? That we're not good enough? I mean, we've got Chiron here, so there's self-worth issues as well. And the moon has just passed over Jupiter and Mars, so there's more emotional courage here, okay? And the will to go on that new journey, that new path that has opened up for us, okay? So Mercury is getting ready to station here. We are going to have a new moon on the 29th in Gemini. So we're watching the moon as the moon is moving through Aries, more courageous. As I said, the moon loves to move through Taurus. It's exalted there, so it's a feel-good energy with the moon in Taurus. So from the roughly the 26th going on to the 27th of May, emotionally, we're coming up to a new moon in Gemini, and it's not an eclipse, my dear friends. So all about newness, fresh energies. Very important, right? New moon in Gemini, here it is, and I want to wish you a happy birthday again. Those of you that are born around about the, at the first 10 days, like after 10 days into the Gemini period. Let me just see. Yeah. So those of you that are born around about the 31st of May, give or take a few days. For those of you, it will be very important. This new moon, new moons are beautiful, right? They're new beginnings. They're seeds that we're planting. And at this stage, we've got Mercury here. Algol is very close, even though I'm not showing you Algol here. But yeah, so the new moon in Gemini, which is the ruling sign of Mercury, and Mercury being stationed and ready, just like being at that start line, waiting for that ready, set, go. But it will take Mercury a few days to station to turn direct. So around about the 3rd of June is when things will start. The seed has been planted, right? And Mars and Jupiter exact here. Remember, Jupiter naturally rules Sagittarius, and that's all about our beliefs, and it's all about teachings. I don't know, some sort of an important teacher showing up in your life, someone that's giving you more confidence to start on that journey, right? Just watching Just watching Saturn here as he's preparing to retrograde. And Mercury, we see here, has stationed and is starting to turn direct 3rd of June. Let's watch Saturn as well. There we go. Saturn has stationed here and preparing to start going backwards. Well, the illusion of going backwards and moving towards retrograde. We see Mercury here is direct, as you can see, and Saturn, there we go, Saturn is in retrograde motion. But, you know, anytime after the 4th of June, those changes will start to happen. Saturn is giving us a breather. Mercury is starting to move direct. Okay, and very importantly, I just wanted to mention also that Venus is coming up. She's in her home sign of Taurus. She's coming up to Uranus. And this could be sudden revelations, surprises, shocking events, ups and downs pertaining to money. This could be tower moments. It could go either way, dear friends. A conjunction is like a brand new cycle that begins, right? And, well, it takes Venus roughly a year and a half to do the whole zodiac. So a new cycle is beginning as they will conjoin here. And this, hopefully, it's good surprises for most of you. It's happening for the, well, Taurus mainly, but the fixed signs, those of you that are born towards the middle of your sign, and the exact conjunction will be on the 11th of June. So sudden changes. This could also speak to financial changes. They could be good, but they could be challenging for others of you. I do like that Pluto is trining over to Mercury. Mercury is the messenger of the gods. So Pluto is telling us what is it that we're needing to shed, right? This is the Capricorn is like leadership. It's like those that are in positions of power. It is naturally the home of career and, you know, one's goals and aspirations. I mean, this is the natural horoscope. So Capricorn is, who are you out there in the world? I mean, there are transformations and changes going on a cellular level, I can say, on a very deep scale. We've all got Capricorn in our chart somewhere. Where is Capricorn for you? For me, let's say, for instance, I've got Virgo on the rising. So for me, Capricorn is my 5th house. So it rules, you know, creativity, children, love, flirtation, risk-taking, fun, all those things. So, you know, having Capricorn in your 5th house wouldn't be much fun, but it's Pluto is transforming and changing on a very, very deep level. So is there anything else I need to tell you? Am I missing anything? Don't forget to send your wishes out to Spirit, right, with this new moon on the 30th or 31st, depending on where you are, I suppose, in the world. I haven't really looked into the time. Those of you that are on Patreon obviously know that all the new moons and the full moons are looked at very, very deeply. Like we look at all the tiniest of details, when and what time and how and all that. So do consider joining us on Patreon, my dear friends. Let's just look at Mars again. So on the 25th of May, roughly, well, this is Greek time, 4:35 p.m. Anyway, let's just go back for a moment. I want to see when Mars is at 0. Just to give you a heads up. There we go. So 2:35 a.m. on the 25th Greek time. So UTC time would be at 12:35 a.m. on the 25th. Okay, so that's when Mars will become more powerful and it will be like a jump start. That's how I see Mars entering Aries, like a jump start to our new beginnings, dear friends. So if there's been stagnation or we've been dealing with old matters, still until Mercury turns direct, a lot will be showing up for you. First of all, Mercury retrograde can break things down, anything electrical, electronic, anything that we deal with. So think of the home office or anything pertaining to gadgets and white goods and anything like that. Also vehicles, motorbikes, anything that speaks to movement, right? What you sit on and takes you from A to B. Anything that makes you mobile, helps your mobility, can break down. And yes, I've seen a lot of that. Cars breaking down, phones not working, so mobile phones, cell phones, right? I've seen the internet being very, very slow indeed. It's taken me, for instance, an hour video to upload it, about 9 hours. So it's very, very slow, and computers have been playing up and the programs, and there's just a lot of, it's like madness. It's like sheer madness with Mercury retrograde, especially with this Mercury retrograde. I really did feel it. So Mercury rules Virgo as well as Gemini. So Virgos and Gemini will feel it more obvious in their life. Those of you that are born with a Mercury retrograde, you'll just sail through. It won't really, you're used to. I mean, you're born with a Mercury retrograde in your natal chart. That means you won't be bothered with Mercury retrograding in the sky. So yes, it's been very powerful. I felt it a lot of revisiting the past, old songs coming up a lot, right? Anything to do with the past, and lots to do with messages not coming through. Oh, another situation. So this is, my personal situation, but I suppose it can resonate for some of you. So I went into Skype today where I do my live readings, and I received messages today from 2 clients. One wrote to me last December and the other one wrote to me early January, and I received their messages today. And I've been in Skype before, so I did not receive the messages then. So that's why I'm telling you, it's sheer madness. I'd love to hear your comments if that's been what's been going on for you. And I think I will leave it there. I want to thank you all so much. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, my dear friends, with these difficult energies of, that eclipse, the lunar eclipse. The further we get away from it, the easier it will become. I think we're coming out of the woods right now. So take a breather. It's, really great. And I'm thinking of, because I took a trip yesterday, road trips are Mercury retrograde, right? Revisiting old places. So I took a road trip yesterday. I was on the road all day and revisited old places in Greece that I haven't been for a few years. And just wanting to let you know that Mount Olympus, where the gods reside, the 12 gods of Olympus and Zeus, the house of Zeus, right? Which is where I was conceived, actually. I was conceived there because I left Greece when I was 2 and migrated to Australia. So I was conceived at Mount Olympus. So I don't know if that's got anything to do with me being more about mysticism and believing in astrology and utilizing that. But you could see it in my chart, nevertheless, that I've got the signature of, just being very Uranian and, having that higher perspective of things. And that's why I formulated this channel a few years back, which is, this has been my calling and I'm on my path. I know it. But what I wanted to say is that every turn that we took, because we passed through mountainous areas and, twists and turns, and we stopped at so many beaches. It was just so, oh my God, like, I want to share a couple of images with you. I've got this amazing picture that I took of Mount Olympus, and you don't really get to see him very well unless it's a clear day. Yesterday was beautiful. So it does resonate very much with the last upload, the daily, which I wrote needing time. Now that title was about a connection, a relationship. It wasn't really about me and what I'm doing with putting personal readings on hold, but it just worked out that way. And the thumbnail shows a woman wearing a hat and she's at the beach. It's funny because this is what played out for me. I was at the beach, and yes, I bought a big hat for the sun yesterday. So it's just funny how it works out. So yes, I will probably upload it on the community. That beautiful picture of Mount Olympus, the land of the 12 gods, right? Zeus. And where, you know, where those battles were going on with the Titans, you know, the gods of the 12 Olympian gods battling out with the Titans, which is a lot of what's going on in our life in the past couple of years, 2-3 years, I'm going to say. And just, you know, we're hoping for a breather. We all have the need to get out and about, to feel a little bit more free and just get out there in the sun. If you're in the northern hemisphere, do that. For those of you in the southern hemisphere, I know that, coming from Australia, winter has got such beautiful days, many times even better than the summer. So get out in nature as much as you can, and just know that you are worthy of being free, of, you know, being able to start a new journey. As we've been closing up on past situations that are very, very much about our emotional, financial securities, whether we've been feeling loved or not. A lot of relationships have been changing. So the status of relationships, a lot of divorce, a lot of separations, a lot of breaking up or segregation of relatives, family, friendships, with all the pandemic having played out and everything. It's time to take advantage. Get out there in the sun and just breathe a bit of fresh air, and know that this too shall pass. All will be well. Okay, let's just run with the punches, my dear friends. So, as I always say, this too shall pass. We go through ups and downs energetically. Just when the energies are feeling really rough and really heavy, get out there in nature, try and connect, meditate, do what it is that you love, anything that makes you feel good, even if it's, you know, eating some ice cream, as long as we don't go totally overboard. Do anything that will help you get out of that rut, okay, with whatever makes you happy. Yeah. All right, my dear friends. So, yes, I haven't done an astrology update for you for a while. I've been under a lot of pressure myself and trying to get back into the rhythm. And as I said, I'm taking a little bit of time off from the personal reading. Those of you on Patreon will still have the ability to order a personal reading, of course, because my patrons, they're the ones that are supporting Divine Debut mostly. They're like loyalty, so I need to be loyal to them as well. So if you're not on Patreon and you're really needing a personal reading, I suppose you can always join on Tier 1, which won't cost you very much, and you will be able to receive a lot. Check out Patreon and see what Divine Debut 11 offers, and you'll see that you do get a lot for joining this soul family, and we're a beautiful community. And I'm thinking of adding a lot more to Patreon, dear friends, which is more about getting to know my soul family. So that's in the works. I'll let you know as soon as I have decided on what I'll be doing. But yeah, so the personal readings will end until further notice. I don't know when or if the personal readings will return. YouTube will stay as normal. Hopefully I'll be able to upload more as well, because if I have less personal readings, then I've got more time for YouTube for free readings, for those of you that are not on Patreon and you just love the channel. And since the readings will be unavailable from 1st of June, I have put on a sale, a special, so a 20% off special for those of you that are wanting a 1-hour tarot reading. The special is for a 1-hour tarot reading. Okay, so get your orders in, because after the 1st of June, I don't know when the personal readings will start again, and if ever they will, I don't know. I'm at a juncture right now, so do take advantage, and thank you for considering. Thank you also for your beautiful wishes for me to have a bit of time off. I do appreciate it, my dear friends. All right, so yeah, lots of changing and transformative energies. That's what it's all about. Changes are healthy, my dear friends, so let's go with it. Let's not be stuck just like the fixed signs. Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius, they don't like change. We've all got those signs in our chart somewhere in particular areas of life. So it's changes that are necessary that we could not make. So eclipses come in, it's spirit putting us on the right path. So let's just run with those changes. And I want to thank you so much. Love and light to all of you. Thank you so much for staying with me and listening to all these announcements and my personal stuff. I know a lot of you do enjoy. Those of you who are not, who don't enjoy this, you're probably not listening to me now. Nevertheless, my dear friends, so love and light to all of you, and I will talk to you soon. Tomorrow's Monday. So back to the drawing board, back to work, back to creating, right? Life goes on. Talk to you soon, love and light. Talk to you soon. Love you all so much. Thank you.